Hello Lorenzonites, and yes, that's what I've decided to call you from now on. Welcome to KSP Contracting episode 20, where we will construct an asteroid space station with the asteroid Combinator, or something, I don't remember what it's called. Anyway, we have to wait for our next launch window, and to see when that is we can look at the KPRR Graboid 2. It has a mission elapsed time of 8 days, and it was launched as all rockets were, so we can just fast forward time until this reaches 30. I've checked the other asteroids in the vicinity, none of them are going to be a problem before that time, and just to up the challenge, let's track one more, zooming all the way out, selecting one at random, sort of. Let's do this one and see what that will bring. It will pass the planet at 16,000 kilometers, so that's not a problem. It's a Class C asteroid, so well, we can keep tracking that, and I've decided that Class C and up are the only ones we will track from now on. A's and B's are just too small, unless of course we need them for some space station building. For now we have a A-class and a C-class in orbit around Kerbin, and today we shall endeavor to link them together. But first things first, the time warping to our launch window. 1, 2, 3, there we are. Now we can look at launching the Graboid. Or, no, first I'm going to rotate the Graboid into the proper position, and when I say Graboid I mean the Combinator. And then I will, because I'm worried about the two asteroids having drifted apart in these 20 days. But we shall first launch this and then see how bad that problem was. We left them at about 300 meters separation, so that's also the closest that they will ever be together, I think. Let's just have a look, shall we? We have the Graboid here and the other asteroid there. So yeah, there has been some drifting in those orbits. Our launch center now is here, which is actually a pretty good place to launch. So I'm going to do a little bit of time warping, so that's right under this orbit, and then I shall launch this, link this to the one that has the. I have to make a decent plan. I want many things. Yes, with this I'm going to visit the naked asteroid, attach one of the grabber units to that, then visit the Graboid one, attach a combinator to that, and then switch to the Graboid to maneuver the asteroids together. Yes, that sounds like a half-decent plan. So let's target that just to be sure. We will be requiring a northerly inclination. The altitude of this orbit is low, it's 300 by 150. So yeah, we should launch that this way. Ooh, that goes up pretty neatly. We will be needing to turn left a little bit, which translates on the nav ball to a direction a little bit like this. Yeah. But first, of course, we want to go straight up. Oh wow, this is a really simple two-stage rocket apparently. Nice. It just has a sprout of these combinator pieces, and then this bit will soon fall off, and then the upper stage will just take us into orbit. Yes, I did cut out a little bit of the straight ascent because you've seen that many times already, and then after that happens we can start our rendezvous maneuver. So let's see, it's almost burned out. There we go, ditching that, and we have a skipper engine to take us the rest of the way there. Sounds reasonable, very, very reasonable. One of you Lorenzonites, I have to get used to that term, it might not stick, but for now I want to call you that. One of you commented that you didn't favor the design of a claw in a docking port, that you'd rather have two claws and some RCS. Well, remember, I fly the things you send me, so if you're frustrated by some design or think you can do better or just have a fun idea, make sure to actually send it to me, and then I can fly it and I'll comment on it and you can see how well it works. Whether or not I screw it up is another matter, but I never screw up anything, of course. I mean, everyone knows that, right? Right. Talking of not screwing up, I need to head over a little bit more to cancel out that Coriolis effect. Oh, look at that, we're almost into orbit already. This skipper engine is not kidding. So we are at, let's see, our descending node here. I'm going to stop boosting and just make our, oh, this is approaching rapidly. Let's see if I can do it from here. I have a few seconds to make this maneuver node work out. Need to go something like that. Yes. So let's just try and do that. Let's burn in this direction for the next 500 meters per second, so that we can fix our inclination before we even get into orbit. And that way we can apply part of our orbital velocity into the correct vector from the get-go, which, well, should be nice. I have a feeling this thing doesn't have delta V to spare, but then again we don't need that much. Like, that's looking a lot better. We are now at a 0.5 degree inclination, which is just good. Let's see if we can immediately make a rendezvous. That would be very nice. This is a periapsis. That is a periapsis. Very well said. Me. Okay, then first we shall. Is this even getting anywhere? This doesn't feel like a very effective rendezvous. Is there oh, there's an indicator hiding here. Look at that. I can probably bring that around one more time, or even another time. No. We need to lengthen the orbit a little bit. We're going for a quick rendezvous. 15 kilometers. 700 meters per second. I wonder if we can do that on this stage. How much fuel do we have remaining? Yes, this should be possible, because this is getting ridiculously light. It is a little bit of an expensive round. Oh, not that expensive actually. We should be able to do it, and if not, then hopefully the grabber elements can do it by themselves, because they should have a fair amount of delta V. They have a probe core, some panels, a docking port, a grabber, and that's it. So they should have a few hundred meters per second at least, I should think, or at least 100. So enough for a careful rendezvous. Should be. If I don't burn all the RCS fuel now, of course. So a little bit of time warp until the burn point. Here we go. 700 meters made to order. I wonder if the fuel will last for that. 400 more meters per second, and then of course we need to do some burn-in to match speeds with the asteroid. I think we will make it. I'm going to throttle back a little bit so we can see our rendezvous evolve as it does. Here we're going. 10 kilometers. Let's see if I can RCS that a little bit closer. No, 7 is the best we're gonna do. That's fine, that's fine. And we even have a little bit of fuel remaining, so look at that. Wonderful. So time warp will take care of the rest, I do hope. And we are now rendezvousing with the asteroid, so not with the other ship. And we're going to do that in just a bit. Alright. We have a lot of thrust, we have a lot of acceleration, so we can wait until the last moment to do our burn. And it's 378 meters per second more. I hope we can in fact do that with the fuel we have remaining. And we can. There we go, almost there. This is a very exact thing. Well done with the ship, because well, we're 7 kilometers away and the fuel is gone. So I'm going to do a rendezvous burn, but I'm going to make it rather slow because I want to have the fuel to stop. That is important. Let's go for 25 meters per second then. No, I can do a little bit more. 45 meters per second, wonderful. Turning around with the RCS. That doesn't take that much. And we need precision maneuvering here because we are almost out of fuel. So fast forward on over to the asteroid. And I'm going to say that one of the claw thingies will suffice. And then we can use the other the other asteroid ship, the graboid, to maneuver to get that. Oh, we can just detach one of these now. We don't actually need the whole ship to rendezvous with the asteroid. So let's do that. Decouple the node, and then we can switch to that. Well, let's call it a ship, but RCS on. Oh, control is reversed. That is of course rather logical. Control from here. Asteroid is still our target. Wonderful. Can enable precision controls because this is a very, very small thing. Okay, let's RCS on over. This should control pretty well, I hope. Yes, this is a dream to control. Wonderful. How are we doing on the RCS? This has lots of it. That is also good. And there is the Combinator mothership. It has like 6 more of these things, so we can do a lot of asteroid constructing with the payload we have just put in orbit. Right. Let's put a little bit of time warp into it. Ooh. Oh, not that much. Okay, stop. What? That was completely on purpose. Let's target the center of mass and see if we can put that on there. That was completely on purpose, just a close range flyby to ascertain the exact demeanor of the asteroid. Yes. It's a common practice in rocketry where you do you buzz the asteroid and then it's scared of you, and then you can rendezvous with it. That's everyone does it like that. I promise. Okay. Right, I'm doing this wrong. I don't want to dock with the asteroid. I need to grab it. So I need to flip. Ooh, my turning made it go somewhere as well. Okay. Slowly now. Thank you. Is this the center of mass targeted? Well, it better be. The first of the robot claws is engaging. This is probably by far the easiest part of the whole mission. Chunk. There we go. This looks easy to attach something to, doesn't it? Should be fine. Okay, back to this one, the graboid. No, we're going to leave this here. We're going to go to the graboid and take that on over here, because then we have all the construction blocks in the vicinity as well. Right, so graboid. Set the target, no, not the target, switch to. The problem is that the graboid is now behind in the orbit. So if we want to make this catch up to the other guys, we need to lower the orbit. I'm not sure there's actually room for that. So we should want to do that from the periapsis. Yeah, there's no room to lower the orbit sufficiently. That means we want to do the next thing. We want to raise the orbit. Let's also try that from the periapsis, and then bring it completely around. That is going. That's a lot better. This is actually a very small maneuver. 46 kilometers. We shall endeavor to make it better than that 46 kilometers. But we just need the we need the burn window, and what am I talking about? We don't need a burn window. We're in the exact same orbit. We can burn whenever the hell we want. So we don't need a maneuver node for this at all. I'm just going to point prograde and burn. Yeah. And if I'm completely wrong with that logic, we will find out shortly. I'm just going to turn it around, prograde, burn it, and then once we get there, I shall talk to you about the interesting news I have today. It's about the International Sun-Earth Explorer 3, I think, which is visiting the Earth shortly. and it's a satellite from 1978, so it's an old one. Right, here we are. Facing prograde. Facing prograde. We will fire our engines just ever so slowly, and we shall just observe how this intersect grows closer together as we do so, or as it disappears. This one then. Let's fire them very, very slowly indeed. And here we have it, 4.5 kilometers. As usual, time warp will take care of the rest. And while we do so, and while you wait for the interesting news, which I'm not going to quite tell you just yet, let me share with you that I'm also decided to make a Tumblr account. Now, I'm not sure what to think about Tumblr, but I have decided I want more subscribers and more viewers and more popularity for this channel. And the internet people, they tell me that you need Tumblr and Twitter for this. So I'm taking it one at a time, doing a Tumblr thing. And with that, I'm also going to, well, share the videos obviously, but hoping to start some discussions about the interesting newses. And if I find some other stuff that doesn't have a place in a video, I can share it on the Tumblr account. So if you do the Tumblr thing, head on over to mine. It's Lorenzo Space Lounge. And while I'm talking now, I'm completely missing the rendezvous opportunity, but more importantly, you should follow me on Tumblr and do that stuff and share everything I say so that I can become internet famous, which well, would be awesome. I'll share the link in the description, have a look at it, and then, well, either shake your head and walk away because Tumblr is strange, for which I won't blame you at all, or if you're into that sort of thing, then join the party there. Why not? Right. So, we're doing the same thing as yesterday. We're rendezvousing with this asteroid, which now should have another thing attached to it. So as not to saturate my channel with only rendezvous videos, I will cut that bit out and just show you when we get there, which is now. And we're going to, I'm again taking things a little bit fast, not being patient enough. But I wanted to use the combinator to do the rendezvous because this has expendable fuel still, whereas the graboid will still need its fuel. Right, so here we are approaching the graboid once again, hopefully not on a collision course. I'm really not checking these things properly. And I have at least like 5 more seconds until we would hit. Fortunately, we are not actually going to hit it. Right. Nice and close. Leaving 6 meters per second just to have some separation, and detaching this. Yeah. Detaching this thing. It's matching speed with the graboid. Wow, that looks good. This one is zipping by. This one fires its thrusters to, well, get away from it and rendezvous with the new target, which is this grabbed asteroid. And our civilization now learns how to build stuff in space, which is always awesome. I'm going to enable precision mode again to see about connecting with this asteroid. And I want to do so on the opposite side of the ship here, because obviously we are going to use that ship to maneuver this docking port to dock with that other one, which should be a interesting operation in and of itself. So let's see if I can just kill my speed somewhat. Now I want two things. I want to have it opposite the ship and sort of in line with the center of mass. So that's two requirements that I do sort of want. So we can turn the thing without RCS. That is good. That is definitely good. Now you might think, oh my god, you're doing the same thing again. You're approaching it with the docking port. Just doing that so the nav makes sense. I can just switch it around. I can switch it around when I'm almost there, so that's fine. So I'm now pointed at the center of mass. Now I just want to zero out my speed again. Why is that so difficult? There we go. Pointed at the center of mass, somewhat. Not quite behind the ship, am I? I'm going to get a little bit closer. We have it, this robot tug. I think it'll be really hard to control it like this. I want to have it in line with that ship, so that's this button now. And then a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, a little bit of this. Now let's... This is quite a lot better, I dare say. So let's point it at the center of mass again. And oh, I shouldn't forget to, of course, actually do turn it around. We're still not... Oh god. I shouldn't have turned it with the... Damn it! I shouldn't have turned it with the SAS. Now I need to do this thing again. Okay. Fortunately, it did mostly drift in one direction. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I had my hand placed wrong on the keyboard. Damn it. Okay. Can do this once, you can do it again. Take it one axis at a time. Here we are. This is... It's not as good as it was. It's not as good as it was. Let's see. Almost there. I was talking to you about the tumbler, and after this I will talk to you about the International Sun-Earth Explorer. Promise. Okay, just going to jam it into the asteroid. This is good enough, hopefully. It's even on that little protruding bit, so that should make things at least somewhat manageable. Is that attached now? No. So attach, please. Is that just going into the asteroid? Why is that not attaching? Oh, probably because it's horrible. Yeah. It's off to the side. Okay, I need to go more this way. And it's getting dark as well, so that's not really good. I want to hit that protruding pointy bit, even if it's maybe not the exact center of mass. Okay. Yeah, this is going horribly wrong. Okay. I'm just going to shut up for a bit and try and make it work. Which apparently is really effing hard. I don't know why. Come on, let's just plug it into the darn asteroid. Boom. Approach that sucker. Do it fast. You can always slow down at the last second. Grab it. Stupid piece of... Damn it. Okay. That did not happen. I'm just going to zero out the velocity. And I will maybe attempt to grab it or align it with the other ship. You know, like an actual docking. Damn it, this is embarrassing as hell. Okay, none of this just happened. None of this just happened. No problems. Absolutely no problems at all. Let's see where that is at. We can just target the docking port. Doesn't matter, because it's super close. We shall point our ship straight towards it. Do we even have any RCS remaining? We do. Oh, it's precision mode is still on. We don't need precision mode for this, that's for sure. Okay. So, maneuvering the asteroid instead of maneuvering the tiny ship. Sure, why the hell not? It's Kerbal Space Program. Okay, it's pointed at the thing. Let's switch back. Not to this one, but to this one. Target the center of mass and go. And not go as fast as that. We need to go at 0.4 meters per second. Here we are. Now I want to see this clamp engage. And then we have a dockable asteroid. 1, 2, 3. Engage, please. Is this clamp now engaging? Why is this clamp not engaging? There we have it. It's completely botched. Oh god. Oh dear god. Okay, this is going to be hard. Doesn't matter. I could put more of them on though. No, one should be enough. We can do this. We should be able to do this. Right. Now to rendezvous with the other asteroid, which is this one. How is that in such a different orbit now? Or is it actually really close? Is that it actually even just in view maybe? Yes, there it is. 45 kilometers. We can probably just fly straight there. We're going to try at any rate. But we are going to do so at a reasonable speed. A reasonable speed. 45 kilometers. What's a reasonable speed? 60 meters per second? I hope we manage that. There we go. 62 meters per second. Let me guess. 62 meters per second times 3 is about 180 kilometers an hour. 40 is... so that makes it about 10 minutes off the top of my head. That should be time warpable. Let's turn around and then time warp just that. That will see us quite precisely almost here at a distance of 25 kilometers and not coming any closer. So this is why you don't really do those long distance rendezvous in a straight line, at least not in a low orbit around Kerbin, because the curvature of the space and the circular motion just wreaks havoc with that kind of maneuvering. Right, so now we have to expend more fuel. Fortunately, this is now a veritable beast, and the astronaut, well, the astronaut is also tiny, but the asteroid is definitely tiny as well. We have enough RCS still. It's not abundant anymore, but it certainly is enough. So let's try this again with, again, 60 meters per second. I'm slightly worried about the fuel, but we should still be fine. So let's cut the video until we're close to the asteroid once more. And again, at 11 kilometers, we're not coming closer anymore. So, well, I'll reiterate the lesson. For distances larger than 20-30 kilometers, use orbital mechanics to rendezvous and not straight line approaches, because this is what you get if you do try it. So let's once more put that speed at 60 meters per second. You can do straight line approaches, but you need to do them quicker than the 50 meter per second approach I've been trying, because at that point you trace too large a section of your orbit whilst approaching in the straight line, so that the straight line isn't valid anymore, if that makes any sense. If you were to do so at like a kilometer per second, of course it would be fine. You would just zip over that straight line, you cross a tiny bit of orbit around the planet, and you're close together and happy. Problem is, of course, that costs you 2 kilometers per second of delta V rather than 120 meters per second. As with everything in rocketry and spaceflight, if you want to do something fast, it will cost you, either in payload or in delta V, or well, costing in payload is basically the same as costing in delta V. But if you want to do something fast, it will cost you, period. If you want to do something efficient, it's difficult, but quite often rewarding as well. Anyway, this time it seems that the approach is going quite a bit quite a bit better than last time, and we can now actually do a straight line approach. So let's stop that. Get rid of the 60 meter per second speed. Well, actually I'm going to keep on this trajectory until now, because we're not getting any closer anymore. Get rid of that 60 meters per second, and I'm a little bit worried. I'm always worried about the fuel. Oh no, we can do 100 more meters per second, no worries. But I don't dare do that, so we're going to do 25. So let's see. Let's put 25 meters per second towards the Combinator probe, which is of course our asteroid. So putting that prograde marker straight on the asteroid so that we can get a nice close flyby once again. And the monopropellant is getting low as well, so I want to stop using that so judiciously if at all possible. I say while completely opening the throttle on the RCS. Okay. More time warp. More time warp. And we are not heading straight at the asteroid anymore, but we are definitely getting close. And we're almost there. I'm going to use as much RCS fuel as I care for. So let's slow down a little bit more to 10 meters per second with 9 remaining. And here we are on our way to that larger asteroid. Now we have a problem that this docking port is clearly offset from the center of thrust of this one. So I think I might want to do the whole approach using just RCS. I'm not sure if that's possible. I'm going to switch over to the other asteroid and see if I can move that at all with the RCS that's attached. If so, I think RCS is definitely overpowered, but it will be easy. So, right. Let's control from here at any rate and point it at the asteroid. Then we have that sorted at any rate, so nice. 70 units of monoprop remaining. Oh god! We need to get this guy to the planet as well. Oh well, we'll think about that later. Switch to this one. Control from here. Where is our fellow asteroid? That's there. I don't want to target the center of mass, I want to target the docking port. Set as target. Okay, now we shall see. Hey, we can actually turn it pretty well. Nice. Monopropellant is still a go. Somewhat. Let's see if we can also... And we're actually approaching the other thing. Wow, I would not have thought you can comfortably maneuver a whole asteroid with just one of these RCS things. Okay, locking the attitude. Let's see if I can make this happen. That would be awesome if I can just maneuver this asteroid onto a docking course. It's not the neatest because of course there's the control axes are all over the place. I'm doing the translation now and it's basically just incurring rotation. So I have, yeah, that's logical. I have 4 Venturis here. They're not going to shift this whole asteroid. No way. So I might have to rotate it to the prograde vector, slow it down, and then realign it, and I wonder if that will work. We shall try it. We shall endeavor to try. If nothing else, we just get it really close, and then see if the graboid can do the rest. Oh, this is really difficult. Okay. So as I try to maneuver the asteroid with the WASD keys, the prograde vector also moves with the same keys I used to move it. So now I want to slow it down, which I can. The RCS is doing it. Wonderful. The RCS is not doing it. It's rotating it more than, because it's not actually targeting the center of mass so well either. Yeah. Anyway. Okay, SAS on. Can we do that with an asteroid? SAS on. Go on, arrest that rotation. Oh god. Let's see if we can get anywhere with the other asteroid. Let's see if we can at least get closer. Control that from here, just to make sure everything is nice and jumbled. Can we see the docking port? Set as target. Wonderful. Just going to try and do it the old-fashioned way, see if that works out at all. See if the game can manage those RCS thrusters so that this goes forward with the whole thing hanging on the back. I wonder. Does a surprisingly good job. Wow. That's good. That's cool. All of this is studded with RCS thrusters, and if I press the key that I want to go forward, as seen from this docking port, it just does it. Wow, that's neat though. So maybe we can do this asteroid docking all in one go. It sure looks good. We're at 0.6 meters per second, and at our current rate that will take us just over a minute to close the distance, giving me the opportunity to talk about the International Sun-Earth Explorer 3, a probe from the 1970s, 78 to be exact, sent in a solar orbit to study the Sun and the Earth, as given away by the name International Sun-Earth Explorer. Now, because Delta V is expensive and rockets are hard, the solar orbit actually resembles Earth orbit a lot. So it's orbiting the Sun in pretty much the same way as the Earth. And as we saw in this episode, if you put two things in pretty much the same orbit, they will drift apart, but they will tend to come together again as well. And that's happening in, I think, about around June. The International Sun-Earth Explorer is, as they say it, coming home. It is entering the Earth's, well, sphere of influence. Obviously that does not exist as such a physical boundary as it is represented as in the game, but it is entering Earth's gravitational environment. And this is not that special because spacecraft do that all the time, but the International Sun-Earth Explorer was basically decommissioned, left for dead decades ago. And to quite a lot of people's surprise, it's fine. 9 out of 10 or 12 out of 13, all but one of the experiments on board are fine, report healthy status updates, and its radios as well. It has fuel left, all the systems appear fine, which is, well, surprising. And since spacecraft are, as we already talked about, expensive, it would stand to reason to reuse this in some way. Now, the somewhat embarrassing thing is that NASA cannot really reuse the International Sun-Earth Explorer because the hardware it used to communicate with it doesn't exist anymore. And actually rebuilding the communications hardware is apparently more expensive or more difficult, or at least not worth it to do, rather than launch a whole new spaceship. Now, this was news months ago, so that's not the interesting news I wanted to talk to you about per se. No, the interesting news I want to talk about today is that there is apparently a crowd-funded initiative, or at least I just found that, to rebuild the communications hardware, and not in the real world. They're going to make a software representation of it, and they're talking with NASA at any rate. They want NASA will help them, not with any money or funding, but you know, they will answer questions about the thing and, you know, just help them a bit. They're asking for $125,000, and that would basically give them an operational spaceship. Sure, it'll be like 30, 35 years old, but an operational spaceship around the Earth. They want to fire its thrusters to send it 50 kilometers past the moon, and then maybe onwards to explore a comet, which are awesome things that you really can't do for $125,000, even not with second-hand hardware, which is basically what that would be. I will link a description to that Kickstarter. It's not actually on Kickstarter, but it's one of these indie fund me for something awesome programs, and I will link that in the description, and you can go and have a look. They have a lot of material for for and about the space probe, obviously, and I thought that would be pretty amazing if they turn out to be able to do that. So yeah, give that a look if you are so inclined, and share that opinion. I also think it would be pretty amazing if I managed to dock these asteroids together now. Ooh, I think that was a connect. I'm doing it more visually than looking at the nav ball. Is this working? No, not yet. Am I controlling it from here? Is this even targeted? I don't understand my controls anymore because, according to the controls, this docking port is now pointed at this one, which is, it's just not. And I'm out of monopropellant. That is a problem. Right, so I'm going to let this drift, or at least turn it using reaction wheels. Oh, it does that pretty well. So I'm not sure why it's doing that. When I tell it to target the docking port here, that it's just pointing in some other direction. Anyway, it seems sort of fine now. Need to lock this in place anyway and try and move it with the other asteroid, which is going to be difficult as hell because, well, it's an asteroid. So let's see if I can turn that whole asteroid in that direction by gentle pushes, and then approach at 0.1 meters per second. That seems like a good speed for an asteroid rendezvous. Right, I'm getting very impatient. I don't dare use time warp, but I'm going to cut the video and, well, you will find the asteroid here, hopefully. Right, it's about a minute later. Here we are. I reckon we have about 1 or 2 meters to go. And I hope this angle is something the game can work with to snap these asteroids into proper alignment. And that would mean that we just did it. And I hope that's possible. If not, if we bump and stop, I'm going to try and, well, at least arrest the asteroids at this distance. Oh, look at that. That's the magnetism doing its thing. Go on, turn those things. Magnets, go on. The magnets are straining to turn these these mountain-sized rocks, which, well, they're not mountain-sized. They're boulder-sized. Victory! We did it! Look at that. 2 asteroids linked together through docking ports. That's awesome. It's a lot of work too, but it is awesome. Now I want stations to attach to this. This looks so good. Nice. Now for the finale, we are going to leave this stuff behind. We are going to disengage this clamp and take this guy home, because remember, he has all the science. And he's going to do more EVAs to, well, get more science, because this big rock hasn't been scienced. Well, it has been scienced before, I think, but we can always take that measurement again. And I am curious how this now counts now that they are, well, connected. So we are treated to one more instance of Genemy grabbing some rock samples. Look at that. Man-made structures. Ooh, it's all the way over here. Take a sample. Well, 8 science. Sure thing. I'm happy with 8. Man-made structure over Kerbin, connecting 2 asteroids. Wonderfully done. Wonderfully designed by you Lorenzonites. And we have more of these graboid attachment stuff ready and waiting in orbit. So we can attach more things, or more structures, or, you know, just do something. Right. This RCS is depleted, so perfect on the fuel there as well. And we shall have to come up with a name for this asteroid complex. I could just call it Asteroid Complex, but, well, that's not very imaginative now, is it? Anyway, wave goodbye to it. Think what you want to call it. Suggestions are, of course, most welcome, as are spaceship designs. And for now, let's take Genemy home. So, lighting the engine there. Waving bye-bye to the asteroid complex that still needs a name. And returning homewards. Wow, there's a lot of Delta V still in these engines. I think this is the first time we will be returning a completely empty rocket to the planet. Wow, it's so much more than I was anticipating. Of course, it has more Delta V now that it isn't towing asteroids, but still, it almost had 1 kilometer per second in that last sliver of fuel. So we're going to break off the capsule, and we're going to do so while spinning because that looks cool and because we want to get clear of the launch vehicle. So there we go. Right, now there's nothing more to do than actually make the landing happen, so let's have Time Warp take care of that. And we landed this ship before once already, so that should all be fine. The lights will soon go out because the electricity is running out. Although whether that is going to be before or after the landing, I don't know about that. I do know that of course it is a night landing, because all my landings tend to be night landings, because I like to make videos, and that's just how the universe works apparently. Right, the enemy and the science experiments are being crushed by G-forces over 10 Gs. Fortunately they don't care about that because they're made of stern stuff. Under a kilometer per second now, coming down off the coast of Kerbalulu. Yes, that's a terrible joke. Don't hold it against me, it's the end of the video where the joke gets terrible. Deploying the parachute and time warping until the dreaded deployment altitude of 500 meters. I've said this so many times already. Don't know why I keep doing it, but hey, you know, it's a part of the game. We are coming down and we are enjoying it, or at least I am. And the claw here is going to grab the ocean, or no, it says changes its minds and disarms itself. We have science, remember, so before we actually conclude the episode, let's, whoa, somersault in the water, let's recover the vessel, move on over to the research and development building and have a look at what we can unlock for next episodes. 260 science from the asteroid. Remember, it flew by the moon, it flew by the planet, and is now docked in orbit to its sister asteroid. Yeah, there we go. We have in total 375 science points. Can we get nuclear engines with that? Yes, we can. Can we get really massive honking space engines with that? No, not yet. Can we get some stuff I don't know what we could use for? No. Yeah, we could get that, but do we want to? No, hell no. Do we want smaller docking ports? I don't. Escape towers? Well, so far all of our Kerbals are still alive, so no escape towers required. Probes? Screw them. Big solar panels? Hell no. Got a big computer now, don't need to scrimp on part count, so we don't need big solar panels. More science, by small drags of science. The seismic accelerometer doesn't do so much for us. Rover wheels could be fun. I never got the hang of building massive rolling structures, could contract that out to you guys, but for now we are going to do the obvious and get the nuclear engines for those large interplanetary exploration vehicles. Oh, how the Duna ship would have loved to have these, but well, that's underway already. Let's have a look at how that's doing, by the way. The Grise Wolf one, this still needs a proper name as well. If I recall correctly, the course correction moment is about here, so that's still not up for a while. Depending on your submissions, you could do that in the next episode or something else. As always, if you have a nice idea for a ship, send it in. If you have a nice idea for a name for the Duna drive here, or for the under construction asteroid apartment complex, do send that in as well, or just leave it in the comments. Check out the Tumblr thing I'm doing. Again, as I said, no hard feelings if you think Tumblr is strange and don't want to get involved with it, but I'm trying to do that as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Lorenzo. See you around next time. Goodbye.